Family, I am here with a magical moment of young musicians. And this is Kim, Sister Kim, and she has a message about investing into the future musicians of our community. Sister Kim, tell us what you got here.
Hi everyone, Kim, proud parent of children at the Big Apple Leadership Academy for the Arts. We teach HBCU high-stepping marching band to our kids from age 5 and up. It is a free after-school program, tuitionless, and it's open to all. Our kids are amazing. If you can, jump on our website. We're looking for support, donations. Our kids need new instruments so that they can high step on. Our website is www.balaa.org, BALAA.org. And I appreciate the time. Thank you. Thank you so much.
And so family, listen up close. We're talking about investing in the artists of tomorrow. By investing in them, if you have a little expendable change to invest in the youth, the genius, this is the opportunity. And in this description on this video will be the details of sending your donation to PayPal or Zelle or Cash App.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. So thank you for your support.
I am activation. 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 I am.
Putting out a call to the warrior in you, to the healer in you, the king, the queen, the magician, the lover in you. Every single day, we are called to walk in our purpose. Answer the call. Lay down your burden and anything that holds you back.
Welcome to magnets, crystals, and pyramids. Success is your destiny. Yes. Love, wisdom, power. Remember always who you are. Yes. Yes. I am. Love, wisdom, power. Yes. Yes. I am. Love, yes. Power. Yes. I am. Love, wisdom.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Okay. Y'all can hear me? Let me know. Because that was Laji saying, we don't hear a damn thing. Thank you, Empress Oya. No sound. Can't hear you. Want to acknowledge rainwater? Yeah. All right. Taking it from the top. I want to thank everyone who's joining us now and in the future. Thank you for being born. Because a lot of modern day individuals, you're lucky to be incarnated after conception. So thank you for being born. Thank you for being incarnated. Because now we are on a dazzling planet of initiation into our supernatural abilities. Getting whispers from my I am intuition. If you're getting whispers from your intuition, shared with us in the comments. If your intuition says it's okay, I can't wait to hear what Laji has to say about his experiences with Kriya Yoga and Kundalini Yoga, because I've been watching on YouTube some of the supernatural things that was going on in the golden age of India. Man, they had robots thousands of years ago that was like guardians of the palaces. They were having full-blown supernatural occurrences from specific exercises that activate some individuals that live 700,000 years from Kriya Yoga and Kundalini Yoga. So we're gonna bring him on shortly, but I just want to do an opening to create the appropriate portal, and then I want to share with you things that you can do to enrich your life. This is not an infomercial, family. This is a exchange of discoveries, an exchange of insights to help each other, enrich each other, so we may optimize our success and repel and transmute dumbass frequencies known as negativity. Special shout out to the Pisces who came from Chicago to be with us at the King Simon. Brother King Simon, thank you for a fantastic event. They put my ass on last for the presentation, but that was cool. Special acknowledgement to Kafunya. She rocked the singing bowls, and Brother King was dropping the magic of numbers. Sister Nia did an excellent presentation about preparation to die. And some of us are too afraid to live. And then Brother King came back on to talk about number magic. And then they put me on last. Oh, I'm glad they did, because we started sharing with the audience how to talk to the dead. Actually, our loved ones in the afterlife. So we're going to open up shortly, like momentarily, but I want to thank Sister Monique. We also had a fantastic Saturday, an excellent open mic. Special acknowledgement to Ross Ben and Mama Kim. He brought the house down with cutting edge information about crystals. Don't y'all sleep on Ross Ben, y'all. Do not sleep on the information Ross Ben brings forth. He gifted me a Sahara citrine, and it looked like a healthy nipple, to be honest with you. I got it on now. And I got to tell you what happened. I put it near my Xenon Powerball, and that sucker started ringing and singing. So I glued it on. I said, yo, Ross, you got to get some more of these Sahara citrine. I looked for it on Amazon, eBay. And you know, Ross Ben, he speaks like he's in the 14th octave. He said, no worries, brother. I got more coming. Yo, all of you who have a Xenon Powerball or a Xenon package of bulbs that I suggested to you to add Numite and Tektite, you might have to get yourself from Ross Ben a Sahara citrine. And it looked like a healthy nipple. Honestly speaking, it looked like a healthy nipple. But when placed near the xenon, the energy goes through the roof. So I am in me, I am in Logic, I am in you, the listening audience. We, being galactic beings, spheres of eternal consciousness, look back on the waves of our past incarnations and say, yes, I am forgiving everybody. And I ask everybody, forgive me. Most of all, I forgive myself. And yes, I am greater than my memories. And as we peel the heel of our consciousness into the here and now, say, yes, I am forgiving infinite future timeline possibilities and all souls who are swinging from those timelines. And I ask, everyone forgive me. And most of all, I am forgiving myself. Because I am worthy. We got to break that worthiness spell that was ignorantly put upon us. We thank and invite Yeshua, Mary of Magdalene. We thank and invite this master alchemist, gatekeeper of Mount Shasta, Northern California, the entrance into the hollow earth that you and me would live 15,000 years instead of a measly 60 to 80 years, because we are the surface savages on the rooftop of the hollow Shambhala that's a few hundred miles underneath our feet. We thank and invite the latest Christ born in the Congo, Simeon Toko. And as you see, Africa is rising from the ebb and flow of these ascended masters who recently lit the spirit fires of Africa. We done paid our karmic debts. Now it's time for the party, the evolution, revolution, transmutation, elevation to begin. We thank and invite Sheikh Amadou Bamba, Sheikh Ibrahim to be with us on this platform. Mother Mary, we thank and invite to be on this platform. Archangel Michael, please protect all our family, friends, and loved ones. We thank and invite you to be on the platform. Nikolai Tesla, we thank and invite you to be on the platform because they're finding 2,000 foot Tesla Tesla coils up underneath the Great Pyramid of Giza. How about that for a snack? We thank and invite Sanat Kumara. We thank and invite Enoch, the Ethiopian who ascended into the heavens and became Metatron. We thank Elijah, Melchizedek. We thank and invite Marcus Mosaic Garvey, Mary McLeod Bethune, Harriet Tubman, Frederick Douglass, P.B. Randolph, Shroom Master Dr. George Washington Carver, who took mushrooms so he could hear the recipes being dropped by the plants in the early morning hours. We thank and invite White Buffalo Calf Woman, Quetzalcoatl. We thank and invite Imhotep, Ptahotep, Akhenaten. We thank and invite Lady Buddha, Lady Krishna. We thank and invite the Golden Age goddesses of antiquity to put their golden touch upon modern day women to amplify their femininity, to restore authentic goddess energy We thank and invite ascended masters throughout the galaxies to have a golden touch of enlightenment upon all the men of the world, to have authentic, enlightened, divine masculinity, so we may go forth on a beautiful, pearly, turquoise planet, which is known as Terra, Earth, and we thank and invite the information showing ancient India knew that the earth was round, and the Europeans believed that it was flat because that's as far as their nose could see. Yeah, the ancient world knew the planet was round, y'all. So anything else other than that is just a fallacy. I'll pull up that video for us shortly. So we thank and invite all your grandmothers, grandfathers, ancestors who served the heart rhythm of love supreme. We thank and invite El Haj Malik El Shabazz. We thank and invite Dr. Sabi, Kalindi Aye. We thank and invite Nat Turner, John Brown. We thank and invite all the shaman warriors, our Zulu brothers and sisters who were going to trance states with mushrooms to accomplish what they desired from creation of architect strategies, music, even supernatural abilities that you presently have, that your Western mind is sleeping with a cover upon. We thank and invite Credo Mutwa, South African Zulu shaman. We thank and invite Master Himalaya, Great Divine Director. We thank and invite Seraphis Bay. We thank and invite all the kahunas of the Polynesian islands who had the advanced form of chanting to change and shift this holographic dream reality. We thank and invite ascended masters from the earth's hollow. We thank and invite the divine in you and the divine in me. And we say, Ashe, Mahalo, Donada, Wado, Amen, Amen. So let it be spoken. So let it be done. And we're going to bring on our brother Laji so he may do the prayer invocation. And then we're going to have fun. Laji, welcome, man. Now you got to turn your mic on.
I didn't want you to hear my son doing the cooking in the background. Yeah, I got my nice little mala. It ain't little though. My brother. So you know the prayer I like. I like the prayer for Ascension. I wrote that prayer, Hank. I wrote that Ascension prayer.
Say that again.
I said the prayer. I think my favorite prayer is the one that I wrote for Ascension.
Yeah, go ahead. Whatever you feeling, do you whatever your heart desires, man. Because we're gonna have fun tonight, y'all. Y'all better get a pencil and pen. Dominican Republic is in the house. Y'all, let me know what part of the world you're listening in from. What city? What state? What country? You know, we always love having an overview on Tuesday, Healing Circle. Nicole's House of Wellness. I know that's Louisiana. She says that's Louisiana. Special acknowledgement to Agnes Poetess. I was surprised she didn't show up this past weekend. She is such a genius of an artist, her and her husband. We got Bahamas in here. Man, you know the Bahamas are the mountains of Atlantis, family. Bahamas are the mountains of Atlantis. So thank you for joining us, my Atlantean brother, sister. While we're waiting for Laji.
Here we go.
Oh, you got it?
Got it.
All right, man. Virginia Beach is in the house. Linda Jenkins. Virginia Beach family, they have a place called ARE, Association for Research and Enlightenment. And that's where the sleeping prophet known as Edgar Casey has his special building property. And he would go into trance and described remedies, kitchen remedies for medical conditions. He described how Atlanteans lived for thousands of years using activated crystals. All was documented in the libraries of Edgar Casey. And Edgar Casey said he rocked with Tahuti in establishing an Atlantean city before Atlantis went under the waves. And that Atlantean city, which was many, was called Kemet, according to Edgar Casey's writings.
What was it called, Hank?
Kemet, modern
Oh.
day Kemet. And his name, Edgar Casey's name in Atlantis was Rata.
Rata.
And they had an armada of anti-gravity ships that went to Kemet and built tens and thousands of years ago an Atlantean supernatural city that modern day archaeologists are scratching their head. They can't believe the technology they're pulling up from the sands of Kemet. So, did you find your paper, bro?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, man.
The-
Okay,
the-
so
the
I know.
ones-
Go ahead. What'd you say?
The ones that believe, that can't believe it, is the uneducated ones. The other ones know that they know all this. They've been to the cities. They've been checking out it all. Okay, now I got this thing on it. I'm trying to get light.
Yeah, take your time.
I'm ready.
You ready?
Yep.
Adjust your light, man. You got too much. Don't make it more ambient, so we don't see the light bulb. We're seeing almost a light bulb.
All right, forget this.
Yeah, that's good. Man, you almost look like Darth Vader without his hat, brother. Go ahead and do your thing, man. Hold on. Let me put this canoe around you, bro. Yeah. Use the force, Luke. Use the force. Go ahead, brother. It's all yours.
Prayer for Ascension. Sri Guru, my beloved mighty I am present. I call on the cosmic Christ love to prepare me for my ascension now in this very embodiment. I am weary of eons of births and deaths. I want to be free. Grant me persistent focus, disciplined action to attain my ascension. My heart, mind, and soul long to be reunited with you and to sit in the Ascended Master community. From my childhood has been the one thing I have most wanted in this world. Out of fear, I've constructed this ego. Grant me your grace to free myself from this human cocoon I have wrapped myself within. I want to be established in that love you have graced me to experience from time to time. Oh Lord, make me worthy of ascension. Open my heart, mind, and soul so that I may see the straight path to you. Your messengers have said this can be done within 2 years. Guide me to do what I need to do to be with the Siddha and Ascended Master. I offer my service to you and these divine beings to purify myself. I will practice the yamas and niyamas, silence, sweet speech, kindness, truthfulness, freedom from criticism, condemnation, judgment, and blame. Repeat the mantras, decrees, and prayers to purify and control the mind. I will meditate to be reunited with you and explore the wonders of the inner self. Baba, my heart longs to be in the company of the Siddha and Ascended Masters. No matter how unworthy the outer self may be, help me to make it worthy. Grant me your grace to repeat the mantras 25,000 times a day, or whatever is necessary to win your grace, so that the mantra will repeat in my mind automatically. Hold no secret back from me that will allow me to be ascended and free. I know the outer human self that I have created is not worthy, but I am not the outer human self. Out of fear, I have created this human being, and I ask your forgiveness. Surely there comes a time where the human being is dissolved. Lord, please let this be my time. From this moment forward, allow each step I take be the path back to you. Beloved Mighty I am present. Help me to imbibe the divine character personality to be in the company of the Siddha and Ascended Masters. From the depth of my heart and soul, I call on the cosmic Christ love and I ask this prayer to be fulfilled. And I demand this fully manifest. I expect this fully manifest. I am this fully manifest. And all I send to Jesus Christ, victory, light, and freedom attain right now. Almighty I am, almighty I am, almighty I am. For those who may wonder why I call in Jesus' name, I want you all to get this secret. Whatever you ask for in Jesus Christ's name will be granted to you. This is what the ascended masters have decreed. So start asking.
Ashe. Thank you, bro. I want to, I think I just want to make sure I said thank you to Nicholas Bookstore, because I was talking in the beginning and Logi had to call me up and say, yo, man, unmute your mic. So the mic is unmuted. One of the biggest things, Logi, I want to share with the audience tonight. Oh, you know what? Family, I was riding my bike yesterday and I sat down on the parkway. And my intuition, Logi, told me to look up in the sky. Family, I saw a red-tailed hawk swimming, surfing on invisible winds. And his tails looked, not his tails, his wings. His wings were looking thick and powerful. And his tail was red and shimmering like iridescent colors in the sun. And the way he was swerving, and he would slide over to the right. He was like, he knew he was master of the sky. And it was an impressive thing to watch compared to seeing pigeons and, the other smaller birds. But to behold the way the hawk says, I am king of the sky, is an incredible sight to behold.
I can hear all that, Barad, on everybody can hear it.
So,
okay.
So sharing that, I went home
trying to get
and let me, Logi, I'm gonna put you on mute because it sounds like y'all in the background cooking something.
Okay.
I went home and I asked, how can I make the Kinkaliba better? Because special acknowledgement to the spirit of Brother Natural, who has left the physical realm, and my condolences to him, his family. And if there's anyone in your family who has recently transitioned, if you want to have a prayer, an ascension prayer for them, or anyone who is struggling with health challenges in this life presently, let us create a healing vortex for each of us. So we may do acoustical chants from our heart to supersede the frequencies that anyone may be experiencing as a challenge right now in their life. So we're going to want you to put in the comments if you want a supernatural experience of Jedis focused on you by way of the internet.
Back there, because it could be heard.
Feel free to put in with the spirit of Ubuntu in the comments, and we will focus on you. So what I did, I doubled the dose of Kinkaliba tea as my intuition guided me. So instead of I had a 3-gallon pot, and I'm sharing this with you so you can experience this too. I had a 3-gallon pot of water, brought it to a boil, have a glass top, stainless steel, on top of an induction stovetop. They're using rotating magnets to heat up the water. And when the water came to a bubbling boil, I put the first sack, like a reusable tea bag. I add Guyusa to the bottom. And then I add the Kinkaliba leaves to the rest half, and I squeeze it in, tie it off. And instead of having one bag, family, listen close to this. I'm going to tell you what happened. I put 2 bags in, and then I let it steep overnight until it reached room temperature. I then squeezed the Kinkaliba bag and disposed of it. And then I added cinnamon, allspice, vanilla extract, and maple syrup. And I'm going to show you the bags because I squeezed them and I want you to see it, because if you double up on the Kinkaliba preparation, my instincts say that's when the miracles really kick in. Okay, so Logi, yeah, I just wanted to share that I doubled the dose of the Kinkaliba, man, and it's almost like the consistency of very strong tea, very strong. And I'm gonna show you what the bags look like, family, because there's a lot to Kinkaliba and Gayusa that is not publicly known. You been taking your Kinkaliba, bro?
I haven't been on it like I need to. I don't get a hit like you get. Maybe I'm not doing it right. So I'm listening carefully to your power of remedy now.
All right, I'm going to go get the tea bags out the trash. Tell the folks the update on what's going on with your books while I go and get the tea.
Oh, so I got 5 copies that came to me to go over to see if there's any mistakes in them, because this is the process of writing a book. You know, the printer and stuff, they may mess up. You know, there could be a word misspelled. Or, one of the things I've seen that they've done is they broke a paragraph, and a paragraph is starting a new paragraph when it's not, you know, and stuff like that. And what I found very interesting is, as I have the manuscript on the computer, once it's in a book, it seems like it's just a little different, and you read different. I thought that was very interesting. But so hopefully, if these people do the right thing, I thought I would have it. I thought I'd have plenty of them by now. But I guess this is the process. This is the process. You got to do what you got to do to make it right, and this is what we're doing. Also, I'd like everybody to know we still got a study group. We're studying this book here on Sundays between 10 and 12 o'clock in the morning. So those of you who are interested and want to study about the highest meditative experiences that have ever been written, of course, none of the masters or ascended masters outside of Swami Muktananda Paramahansa have wrote about the super secret experiences that we go through when we get the grace of the Guru. And always remember, the Guru is a manifestation of your mighty I am presence in physical form in front of you. Somebody you could go to and speak to for a certain amount of time, if you know, as long as he's alive. This is a powerful thing. And just living with your mighty I am presence in an ashram. They've reduced the word guru to something very common, you know, but it is not common. You might as well say God, because the guru is God. And yeah. So you back, my brother.
Yeah, okay, Logi.
Yes,
Family.
sir.
All right, let me show you first what the consistency is, because a lot of folks have some, how could I call it? I'm trying to be good, acoustically good, but some of y'all have some weak ass tea that y'all think is going to do something for you. You know, tea that look like it's almost the concentration of like baby piss. You know, that's what y'all tea look. Y'all a lot of your tea is pathetic. You know, listen, this is, you know what I'm talking about, Logi. This is.
Yours don't look like baby pee.
That ain't no. If your baby had pee this color, you take it. Y'all go to the doctor.
Yep.
This is almost the color of coffee. This is Kinkaliba Gayusa. This is the strength needed to get the miracles going. Logi, decalcifies and activates. I'm gonna tell you right now, this activates your endocrine system or your chakras. But this is the concentration you need. Lodge, you see the color?
Yes, I do. I got the
Okay.
guy too.
Huh?
I also have the guy so when you told me way back, I got them both,
Now,
and I
I'm
still
gonna
have. So how many spoons do you put in? Like what?
now this is a 3-gallon family. Look close. Half of this is Guyusa, Kinkaliba, 50-50. Now this is the size of my hand. This is a big tea bag. Look, this is my hand. This is the bag. If y'all using them little itty bitty little Lipton side tea bags, y'all been playing yourself. So my intuition said, pack and stack it like this. This is full. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't tried this, but I'm going to try this right now with the 35-pound lift test. Hold on.
So you put that in a gallon of water or 5 gallons or what?
Yo, I just said I put it. Oh shit! Yo, man, you know what? There was a bunch of pigeons that just marched across my window ledge, like one behind the other. I think it must be a falcon out there because they hiding like they scared and shit. I'm looking at them now.
We got lots of falcons here in Georgia. They just be soaring around. We don't see any pigeons.
They probably ate them all up.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to do a lift test, y'all. This is my lift test. Let me see if you can see it. No, it's going to be easy if I use a smaller weight. All right. So this is my smaller weight. You can see it in my hand, right?
Yeah.
That's my lift. All right, hold on. Let me move the Chanu out the way. Family, we're talking about this is to keep you healthy and disease free, is to drink your Kinkaliba tea so you can stay healthy. Okay, so this is the lift. Now this is that coffee thickness Kinkaliba tea. I'm holding it in my hand, and this is my lift again. Woohoo! Woohoo! It's light as heck. That's the energy, the herbal voltage in the tea. And this is my lift right now without it. Y'all saw that? You saw that?
I saw it.
We're not drinking enough tea, y'all. Also, update soon, very soon. I hope in the spirit of Ubuntu to have the ethereal super salt available. That's a blend of African and Japanese salt. We are literally dying from taking the wrong salt in our bodies, Laji.
I want that salt. I tried it. That salt was the bomb jammy for you. I've been waiting for you to get some.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Just being patient. Family, I had a small amount at Brother Rich's event, and Laji, you remember people's reactions.
Yep, I remember my reaction too. Yes, it was. That's some unusual stuff.
Family, the salt. Oh, I'm glad we're talking about salt. Yo, the study came out. If you're in the audience, listen close to this. You heard of Celtic salt, Laji?
Yes.
Do you take Celtic salt, Laji?
No, not now. Because I've been waiting on your salt. I was going to switch to Celtic because I heard the Himalayan salt was something that we didn't expect it was. But I'm waiting on this salt that we tried at the meeting of the masters over there in Black Wall Street the last time we were there.
All right, family. If you're taking Celtic salt, don 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 don. Yo, Celtic salt. Cease and desist. Is that the right way to say it? Cease
Yeah,
and desist?
yes, it is. So why?
Yo,
It's,
Celtic salt has been found to have deadly levels of lead.
oh, Jesus.
And I'm going to pull up the article and let Laji read it.
Man.
And I know a beautiful, beautiful vegetarian sister, and she was doing Celtic salt. Listen to this, family. Beautiful, healthy, badass. And what happened was she was she went to the doctor, and the doctor, was doing the blood, and it says, "You're healthy, but why is all this high concentration of lead in your body?"
Mm.
So
I'm
she went. I mean, she would be in the sauna, looking, staying fantabulous, and then she stepped out the sauna on the steps and shared with me that her foot bone broke. And I was like, "What?" She was like, "Why did that happen?" Fortunately, I ran into the information, and I'm going to share it with you, family. Lead replaces bone in the body. And because lead is so soft, instead of you having the fortitude of bones, you have like bone, and then you have a piece of lead that the body thought was bone replacing the bone. So it's soft and it cracked.
wow.
And when I shared with her this information that I'm going to post right now, I was shocked at how many of our family members do not know about this lawsuit. Okay, so I'm gonna pull it up, Laji, and so you can read it. You got your reading glasses, right?
Yes, I do.
All right, we need to read. Family, you need to know about this because this can affect your health right now. Um,
Celtic salt, Celtic sea salt, class action, allegedly a
hold
product.
on, let me open it up. Let me open it up. You see that, right?
Yes, I do. Man,
Okay, hold
what
on.
is that ain't gonna kill us?
Okay, hold on. Let me make it bigger. The view bigger, if I can. Okay, hold on. Let me find another page because this February 14th, 2025. Uh let me show in the view. Zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. Can you see that, Logi?
Yeah,
Zoom in a little more. Okay. Can you read it?
yeah. Gonzalez versus Gonzalez versus Celtic Ocean International LLC. A proposed class action lawsuit claimed two varieties of Selena Celtic sea salt are contained with toxin heavy metal. Defendant, Celtic Ocean International LLC, laws, California Unfair Competition Law, California Consumer Legal Remedies Act. Categories: food, medical health, false advertising, fraud. Uh-oh.
All right. Hold on. I'm looking, family. I'm looking for you could describe it more. All right.
Wow.
Hold on. Zooming in. Can you read that, Logi?
Yeah. Plaintiff Mark Gonzalez class action complaints allege that Celtic sea salt produced products include fine ground Celtic sea salt and light gray Celtic sea salt contains significant levels of lead and arsenic. Arsenic, damn. Gonzalez claims Celtic Ocean misled consumers into believing the Celtic sea salt produces that products are healthy by using labels that contain statements such as vital minerals, good manufacturing practices, and doctor recommended. No reasonable consumer would buy the product if they knew the product contained toxic and harmful ingredients such as lead and arsenic. The Celtic sea salt class action lawsuit says Gonzalo wants to represent a nationwide class and California subclass consumers who purchase Celtic sea salt products for personal use. Celtic sea salt products contain lead, arsenic, levels of California
Above
65 limits, class action alleged. Gonzalez alleged that testing the Celtic sea salt products showed they contain 460 parts per billion of lead and 140 parts per billion of arsenic. The levels of lead in the Celtic sea salt products exceed California Proposition 65 limits, which requires a warning label for products that contain more than 0.5 micrograms of lead per maximum daily usage. The Celtic sea salt class action claims, Gonzalez argues, Celtic Ocean has a duty to inform consumers that the Celtic sea salt product exposes them to unsafe levels of lead and arsenic. Instead of informing consumers about the unlawful lead contamination, it places the high quality and healthy representation on the label of the product to affirmatively mislead its consumers. The Celtic sea salt class action lawsuit, Gonzalez claims Celtic Ocean is guilty of breach of implied warranty and is in violation of the California Unfair Competition Law and Consumer Legal Remedies Act. He is seeking a compensatory, statutory, and punitive damage for himself and all class members. And other news concerning heavy metal contamination, Tampax, ay, qué lindo de ahí. Tampax, Procter & Gamble Company is facing a class action alleging its tampons are contaminated with unsafe levels of lead. Another lawsuit alleges that Tom's of Maryland's kids' natural fluoride.
Tom's of Maine's kids.
Tom's of Maine's kids, Maryland. Tom's of Maine's kids, natural fluoride, free toothpaste, silly strawberry contains unsafe levels of lead and arsenic.
Ain't that something?
Yeah, they're doing their best to reduce us in every way. I wonder how this affects your memory and your heart and your liver and your this and your that. Every way.
So, family, we need to know lead poisoning is what they believe brought down the Roman Empire.
Yeah,
Symptoms of lead poisoning. Let's look it up. Okay. Let's look up what are warning signs of lead. Look at this. Oh, man. Hold on. Share screen. Symptoms of lead poisoning. Can you see that? We want to make it bigger?
What are the warning signs of lead poisoning? Symptoms: developmental delay, learning difficulties, irritability, loss of appetite, weight loss, sluggishness and fatigue, abdominal pain, vomiting. More items. Mayo Clinic.
Let's look at it some more. Hold on.
Overview.
Here I'm making it bigger, family. Hold on. Here we got all these vegetarians talking about I ain't eating no meat, but they're sucking up lead from poisoning. Go ahead, Laji.
Lead poisoning occurs when lead builds up in the body, often over months or years. Even small amounts of lead can cause serious health problems. Children younger than 6 years are especially vulnerable to lead poisoning, which can severely affect mental and physical development. At very high levels, lead poisoning can be fatal. Lead-based paint and lead-contaminated dust in older buildings are common sources of lead poisoning in children. Other sources include contaminated air, water, and soil, like the stuff they spray every day in the sky. Adults who work with batteries, do home renovations, or work in auto repair shops also might be exposed to lead. There is treatment for lead poisoning, but taking some simple precautions can help protect you and your family from lead exposure before harm is done. Symptoms. Initially, lead poisoning can be hard to detect. Even people who seem healthy can have high blood levels of lead. Signs and symptoms usually don't appear until dangerous amounts have accumulated. Lead poisoning symptoms in children. Signs and symptoms of lead poisoning in children include developmental delays, learning difficulties, irritability, loss of appetite, weight loss, sluggishness and fatigue, abdominal pain, seizures, eating things such as paint chips that aren't food. Because every kid seems to get their hands on a paint chip, they eat it. Lead poisoning symptoms in newborns. Babies exposed to lead before birth might be born prematurely, have lower birth weight, have slower growth. Lead poisoning symptoms in adults, although children are primarily at risk, lead poisoning is also dangerous for adults. Signs and symptoms in adults might include high blood pressure, joint and muscle pain, difficulties with memory or concentration, headaches, abdominal pain, mood disorders, reduced sperm count and abdominal sperm, miscarriage, abnormal pain, abnormal sperm, miscarriage, stillbirth, or premature birth in pregnant women. Request an appointment, Mayo Clinic. Wow.
This is going on, y'all. This is what we need to know. That's going on. And all those who are trying to be health conscious and been taking the wrong salt. One of the factors, not the only factor, Bantu, lead poisoning in the Roman Empire. Yeah, let me share that. Lead poison, because they use lead utensils in the Roman Empire.
Yeah.
Okay, here it is right here. Let me reduce it so you can read it, Laji. Imagine if you had for breakfast a bowl that was lead. Here it is. Go ahead, Laji.
In the Roman Empire, lead was a common material used for various purposes, including utensils, plumbing, and even sweetening wine. While not as prevalent as other metals like bronze or copper, lead was used for pots, pans, and even some cooking utensils, especially in upper classes. The use of lead in utensils and plumbing contributed to lead poisoning, which may have had an impact on the health of some Romans, including emperors, potentially impacting their overall health and ability to govern. Here's some more detailed look. Lead in utensils. While lead dishes were rare, lead was used in some utensils, especially in less affluent households, alongside tin. Lead bowls and plates were heavier than tin ones and less durable than copper, but was still used. Lead plumbing. Lead was extensively used in Roman plumbing, including aqueducts and pipes. This lead was used to transport water to public baths, contributing to water contamination. Lead in food and drink. Lead was also used in pots and vessels of wine storage and preparation to make sapa and sweetened grape juice concentrate. This led to lead poisoning, particularly among the wealthy who often consume lead-tainted wine and food. Lead impact. The widespread use of lead in various aspects of Roman life, including utensils, plumbing, and food drink preparation, contributed to lead poisoning, which may have had a significant impact on the health and well-being of Romans, especially the elite. Some historians speculate that lead poisoning may have contributed to the downfall of the Roman Empire. Debate on lead rose in the fall. While some historians believe lead poisoning played a significant role in the decline of the Roman Empire, others are more skeptical, arguing that the decline was a complex process with multiple contributing factors. They liked mice too. That could have been one of the things anyway. Lead poisoning and the downfall of Rome, reality or myth. Lead was used extensively in plumbing. Domestic utensils were made of lead and pewter.
Oh, let me make this bigger.
What's on the intake? No, on top.
And the reason we're reading this, family, is because the salt, for those who are health conscious, you know, you can see the
Really?
history. Go ahead, Laji.
$20? Yeah. Okay. Lead was known to the ancients from at least 4th millennia BCE, but its utilization increased markedly during Roman times when it became a health hazard. Lead was used extensively in plumbing. Domestic utensils were made of lead and pewter. Lead salts were used in cosmetics, and a grape juice concentrate, commonly used as a sweetener, was prepared by preference in lead containers. Roman writers commented on the toxicity of lead, but classic chronic lead poisoning was first described in the 7th century CE. The author thus suggested that chronic lead poisoning did not contribute significantly to the fall of Roman Empire.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
All right. Mike says, all good things I've heard, lead-based paint blocks harmful EMF. That's why it's phased out. I mean, how many kids are chomping paint chips? The days of those ramen dinnerware are done, son. Okay. Now, this is interesting because in the projects where management wasn't kept up to par, Brother Mike, paint would chip. We're talking about not 12-year-olds, but we're talking about 3-year-olds that put everything in their mouth. So now, instead of people or children eating paint chips, people are taking it in the corrupted salt. And being unconsciously poisoned. That's why I say it's very important to muscle test, to learn how to get beyond your monkey mind and tap into your intuition so you know how to do the selection of foods to eat and intuitively avoid. Because if you depend on your monkey mind, left brain, analytical faculties, you're going to be in a bad way because you don't have extended sensitivity beyond sight, scent, taste, hearing. You're not using your auric faculties that can present you with unknown dangers in various elements, from going down the wrong street at night, wrong people.
Yeah.
We all experienced that. Something told me that avoid that character. And then we we monkey mind smooth it over. Oh, it does. They don't seem to be a problem until days, weeks, months later. Bam! What? And you know what an epidemic is besides mental illness in the community?
Bad association.
Traitors. Traitors. Traitors in your family.
Uh-huh.
Traitors of your so-called friends. It's not the ones across the street. It's the ones closest to you. You might have a traitor in the bed with you.
Mm.
Traitors is an epidemic. And
Sure
with
is.
people right now becoming the homeless rate here in New York City, I don't know about other cities, the homeless rate is going up and up and up, where I'm starting to see a lot of sisters, Logi, on the parkway benches with their bags.
I know.
I don't know what Atlanta's like, but we're in we're in a crisis.
There used to be a couple of blocks with just homeless, but they must have did something because I don't see them out there. Before I moved here, when I was coming to checking out the place, it was like 2 blocks that they had. They just went there to be, and they didn't have tents either. So when it rained, they got rained on. So I know they opened up shelters here, and so I guess they all went to the shelters. But in LA, man, oh man, I couldn't believe it. Places where they're paying $3,000 of rent, right down a month of rent, right down the block. They got just 10 communities where they just gave up on life. They just went and got the tent, and they ain't paying $3,000 a month for no apartments no more.
Now, you know, if we do critical thinking, my brothers and sisters, you know who the main evil element of homelessness is?
Ooh.
The banking system. The banking system is the silent killer of being sheltered.
Check this out, Hank. When you go to buy, first of all, by law, the banks cannot lend you money. By law, they can't lend you their money. So they go into your SESTKV account, take out the money to pay for that car or that house, and then charge you interest for just doing a Mickey Jr., a switch. And they charge you interest on the money that they took out of your account to pay for your house or your car and all the things that we begin. And then charge you interest on top of that. And if you default on that loan, right, it's really a false loan because it's your money that they took to pay for the house or the car. Then, you know, you're homeless. That's cold-blooded.
The most evil, insidious is the banking system, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to understand, it ain't the devil. It's the insidious nature of the banking system. And they own, I'm trying to pull up, they own the news media.
They sure do.
So we're going to give you a basic overview so that you can order the book called Money Mechanics. And I want to acknowledge Into the Afterlife, Brother Muhammad Bey, who brought it to our attention years ago on this platform. He brought it to my attention, this book.
I think I got it right here. I got my computer holding it up on top of this thing. That's going to be part of this my course. When I get the website up, it's going to be the UCC is going to be part of the course. What's so deep? I may have and guess who wrote the book? That's written by the Federal Reserve, and they're telling you point blank what money is. So
go ahead, take it, Logi.
I'm looking for the book right now. Here's another book, High Power, Bills of Exchange. All of this is coming from 1933 when the United States government went bankrupt. Use of bills of exchange to discharge debt. I know most of y'all don't realize it, but it is illegal to send a debt to any American. And another one, what does accepted for value mean? This is all going to be in this course I'm going to be teaching before next month is out. Private equity secrets. Oh, and here we go. Modern money mechanics, a workbook by the Reserve and Deposit Expansion. In other words, the Federal Reserve wrote this book. And inside this book, it tells you what money is. Oh, boy, talk about the secrets. I went through this book. Yo, I've made some notes. I read this years ago, but this is what's going to be taught in this class on this mentorship I'm gonna do, year-long mentorship. I got 3 packages. Oh man, as I'm looking for this, let me tell you what they tell you money is. A negotiable instrument, which you create your own, all right? A money order, which is backed by gold. It's one of the only monies that's backed by gold. Then you get a note from the—
What money order is backed by gold?
U.S. money orders are backed by gold.
You talking about postal money orders?
That's right, Holmes. That's the only money that we got out here that's backed by gold. All right. Then you got a promissory note. So let me bust y'all. Let me hit you up to what the promissory note really is. Okay. The promissory note in reality is money. It is not a promise for you to pay. It is money. So when you go to get that car, or you go and you get a mortgage for your house, they slip you that promissory note. That is the instrument that they take to your Celtic AV account that's in the U.S. Treasury. Take out that money, buy that car with your money, then charge you interest over time with that. So the promissory note is not the default on the loan. The promissory note is the money that got the loan. See, the truth of the matter is, it's really not a loan. It's an exchange of your credits for what you just brought. And they're charging you because they're not teaching you the inside mechanics of that. Money mechanics, and some other books teaches you that.
And see, family, this is what you were supposed to learn. This is what I was supposed to learn. We were supposed to learn this in high school. But Rockefeller said, I don't want a civilization of thinkers.
Can't have
I want basically dummies that know how to work in a factory. So the things you should have learned in elementary school, modern money mechanics, finances, the basic principles of things so that you could thrive and be financially independent, were never taught to you, because you had a Sith Lord named Rockefeller that hijacked hijacked education, energy, medical. So the doctors of today are just pimping oil-based pharmaceuticals. Go ahead, Laji.
Busters. Many things from stones. All right, let me start from the top of the paragraph. If money is viewed simply as a tool used to facilitate transaction, only those media that are readily accepted in exchange for goods and services and other assets need to be considered. Many things, from stone to baseball cards, have served this monetary function through the ages. Today in the United States, money used in transactions is mainly of 3 kinds: currency, paper money and coins in the pockets and purses of the public; demand deposits, non-interest bearing checking accounts in banks; and other checkable deposits, such as a negotiable order of withdrawal, NWO accounts at all depository institutions, including commercial and saving banks, saving and loans associations, and credit unions. Traveler checks also are included in the definition of transaction money. Since $1 in currency and $1 in checkable deposits are freely convertible into each other, and both can be used directly for expenditures, they are money in equal degree. However, only the cash and balance held in the non-bank publics are, you heard that term? non-bank publics are counted in the money supply. Deposits of the U.S. Treasury Depository Institutes, foreign banks, and official institutions, as well as vaults, cash, and depository institutions are excluded. See, now they're getting into the double talk or the trick you talk, so you don't understand most of their language. But they see, they have a sentence or two that's just clear, and a lot of what's in the paragraph is just mishmash stuff to kind of confuse you. While currency is used for a great variety of small transactions, most of the dollar amount of money payments in our company are made by checks or by electronic transfer between deposit accounts. Now I'm skipping over to something else because I made some notes here. The actual process of money creation takes place primarily in banks, primarily. In other words, in the first place, but not every place. All right, now bust it. As notes earlier, checkable liabilities of banks are money. The liabilities are consumers' accounts. They increase when customers deposit currency and checks, and when the proceeds of loans made by the banks are credited to borrower accounts. Now, see, now that's double cross, because the bank can't lend out its own money, but they can lend out your money. How do they do that? This is some deep stuff. I got a bunch of books here that break it down, but y'all got to get this. My class is going to be on this very stuff. Here's another piece.
That's what you should have learned in high school, family. We should have learned modern money mechanics in high school. We got a lot to cover.
Letters of credit. Yeah, I know you heard that term many times. What's the letter of credit? Oh, I got to show you something. Oh, bust this, y'all. Birth certificates as a negotiable instrument. Your certified birth certificate is a bond, and it's worth $1 billion, and it's used all the time on international money. Filling your UCC with the Treasury Department and redeeming the straw man account.
This is what you gotta question everything, because everything we learned, we've been miseducated. And that is why, at least in the cornerstone of our life, is learn how to do I am affirmations to guide us into higher ground of understanding. What you got there?
The story of the Buck
Act.
That's some powerful stuff right there. Then we got, I'm sure many of y'all have heard about creditors and their bonds. When you do your streamline process, when you get your trust, especially if you do it with the right people, that's why the lawyers charge you so much for it. You get 2 bonds. If you get your birth certificate certified, that's part of these documents too, and this is just part of the documents I got here. You get 2. I can show you them right now.
We don't want to get too deep. We want to do just a basic intro, so we don't lose folks' attention. Because Laji, he's deep in there. Because Laji's middle name is Money. He definitely loved money mechanics, y'all. But if you want to get in touch with Laji or maybe have a consultation, I'm just going to put his information up here, right here. Here's Laji's information. All right, because we just touched on his favorite subject, and that's money mechanics. And what you don't know can hurt you, because gold is past $3,300 an ounce. All right,
and that's
price. That means $1 is dying, y'all. Don't wait till they announce it in the news. By then, it'll be too late for you to get a bag of beans. Stock up on your beans. Go ahead, Laji. What?
I want to tell you, brothers who's facing divorce or looks like that might be something imminent, get your trust, because trust law is the highest law. And especially if you got $1 million or if you got a significant amount of money, all right? Get your trust, because if you get divorced, your wife can't take a dime of that money. and put all your money in that trust. Matter of fact, put yourself in that trust, put your children in that trust, put your birth certificate in that trust, to everything that you own of value, put in the trust, and it's protected by law. Trust law is the highest law. You can literally take somebody out of jail who has committed a crime in your family, and you tell him he belongs to the trust. He's an untouchable. This is deep. I got all these books here, Hank. I got all these books. I downloaded them and I printed them out, but I got a whole bunch that I didn't. They got books out there on this stuff, $32,000, Hank. Now, why would they put a price like that on the book?
The reason is what you don't know will bust your butt. Yep. What you don't know. And I want to move to this, Lodge. I want to share something tonight also. And I'm doing an experiment real quick, and I'll be finishing in a second, family, because I said I wanted to touch on this for the purpose of you creating it yourself. Okay? Hold on. Let me make sure I did it right. Hold on. Let me make sure I did it right. Oh, I got it. Okay. We got in our community a lot of copper jewelers, copper craftsmen, copper creators. Listen close. Listen very close. Hold on, they got some comments. You gotta contact Laji for that. I put the contacts up. Watch the show again for his contacts, because he's not going to give you the list right here. Here's a consultation. I mean, he's studied and study to show thyself approved, and you got to respect. See, another question, Mike. You got folks here is interested. Y'all contact Laji. All right, so that you can do this.
Hank, we're giving out the God knowledge, power God.
Yeah, we're giving out power stuff, and you're going to have to compensate.
They don't
Fair exchange is never robbery. This is just a teaser. This is like a little infomercial. Now, I'm a product developer, so I have to live a certain lifestyle so I can get a pipeline of inspiration, and then I'll share a little bit with you. And this is what I'm going to share, Logi. Look at this. We got a lot of crystal wrappers with copper, crystal copper jewelry makers, Logi.
A lot.
But a lot. But they all pretty much do the same designs. We suffer from lack of sufficient creativity and original thought. We have been conditioned to think like everybody else. And that's why it's important for you to question everything. Dick Gregory talked about this in my formative years. He said, question everything. So, question copper jewelry. Why are you only using copper in wrapping and making bracelets? Why are you only using copper in wrapping to activate crystals? Test. Y'all can hear me? You can hear me now? Can you hear me?
Sorry. Oh. I muted myself because all the noise in the back. Yeah, I could hear you all along.
All right.
I was mute out
Look at this. Noise. All right, yeah. Thank you, Rhonda. Family. Upgrade to using copper and titanium in creating bracelets. Lodge, you see this?
You've been in the lab again. You
ain't
in the
lab. I ain't never left it.
Yeah, he never left it.
This is titanium on the tips. This is tensor coils of copper. And take note, there's 3 areas of application of titanium with copper
What's the thing in
and
the middle?
titanium wire. And it makes a superior it makes a superior copper healing bracelet. Mike is asking a question that I'm going to answer. Mike, how much are you going to make the bracelet for? That's for you to make. I'm sharing it out here in this small audience. Make it yourself.
You always end up make it yourself.
Make it yourself. Because I'm not going to get inundated with dozens of orders, because I'm saying, well, what else how else can I charge it up? But I'll show you how it activates copper. Because when you use two separate metals, family, listen close. When you use two different metals, you create something I think in plumbing is called electrolysis, where you create voltage. And that voltage is absorbed in your body. So I'm looking for my my Thor hammer, which is right here. And I never did this before, but I'm going to do it now. I'm going to put it in my lap. You hear me, Lodge?
What you got in your lap?
Okay. Here in my lap, I have a 25-pound Thor hammer. This is my lift. 25 pounds. All right?
The hammer of Thor.
Now, I'm putting just over my fingertips, not a copper bracelet, but a compound of copper and titanium. And I got to make sure I get the polarity right. So let me see what happens. I have this on my fingertips. Here's the lift. That means it's wrong direction. So what I have to do is flip it. Those of you in the audience who are sensitive or psychics or Mike, you're getting the instructions, and use your intuition and call on your I am. Say, I am revealing how to make the best titanium copper bracelet. It's time to do mental muscle push-ups. Now, Mike, family, I flipped the polarity. Now look at the lift. Look at the lift, Logi. You see that?
Yeah.
Now I'm taking it off and putting it on the tape on the right here on the by the mic. And I'm going back to my normal weight. Putting it back on. This will get rid of pain. This will ionize your body to make your dreams manifest, because you need voltage. We need voltage. So what would happen if you get yourself a piece of copper and a piece of titanium and put it in your pocket next to each other? What would happen if you get a copper ball and a titanium ball and have it in your pocket? We got to use our mental muscle. We're suffering because we've become mentally lazy. Yes, Jay. Here it is. Unc is, you read it, Logi.
Unc is saying for you to tap into yourself and let the universe guide you. Universe is good at that. But I want to tell you something. You all want all this money thing. Well, money don't go with you to the other side. Money don't open up the third eye. It can take you someplace where you can get with that could happen. But money don't do that. And this is the thing that's deep. We giving power knowledge. I'm talking about knowledge from the ascended masters and Siddha and ascended masters from the most powerful ashrams that I have gone to in the world. And I'm bringing out that information and giving it free. And they don't want it. It's like the real goal, they pass up.
The reason is you've been mentally conditioned that if you don't pay something, it ain't shit.
I'm a charge on them. I'm a charge. Yeah.
You're better. You're better.
They're going to be the stuff I can't charge for, and I'll be glad to do it. I'm going to be just a half hour, 10 minutes of prayers, 20 minutes of decrees. And then it's going to be the power chants that can create anything. They can bring anything in your life. That I'm going to charge you for, but I'm only going to charge you $1 a day.
All right, let me say this now. With the copper and titanium, my brothers, start cultivating seminal retention so that you can get the high downloads. This is a wide open field of development.
Yeah.
I'm just scratching the surface. I'm just scratching the surface. The unlimited creativity you have to create possibly age reversing technology with the copper titanium, pain relief, anti-inflammatory, muscle enhancement, strength, unlimited possibilities. But don't say how much, because I don't know. I'm just starting to make it. And I'll only do certain number of hours of creativity. But if you want me to, if you're going to be patient, I got one brother. He's real cool. You know, special acknowledgement to Brother G out of Pennsylvania. You know, he's a funny brother, man. He'd be like, yo, I want that too, man. I want that too. And I'll be like, yo, slow up, player. You know, slow up. This is what we're supposed to do. Steel sharpens steel. Iron sharpens iron. This is where this platform is to share information, especially in the YouTube shorts, to inspire you to create something powerful, something amazing. Look what they say here. Been attempting, I don't know, attempting of, but Logi gave that suggestion of Harataki to help. Can't wait to try.
Yeah, the Harataki, definitely. That's what we used to use in the ashram, because most of us have been turned into whores, the men and the women. We're having sex, and bust this. None of the animals have sex like we do. Even the dogs don't have sex like we do. There's a season even for them. But we have sex like monkeys. The monkeys have sex like we do. All right? And we're divine beings.
Don't forget the wild boars. They be popping all day.
Oh, yeah? And then
wild pigs.
I misspoke. Then there's the rabbits. They be but they're animals. We're divine beings. We're supposed to hold on to our seed so it turns golden and then have children with that gold seed. Oh, man. Y'all.
So what I'm simply saying, family, is if you want to be patient while I create, because I'm exploring the creation of copper titanium, and I just made that today, Logi. This design. Okay, I just made that today.
I know there's gonna be some new stuff coming.
All right. I got these on right here. Now you see on the ends is I have titanium wire. But I want to see what happens when I noticed that when I put that third wrapping on the titanium, on the copper, in the correct direction, the energy goes through the roof, Logi.
Well, I know sooner or later
I'm exploring.
Serious stuff coming out. This is the beginning.
This is a magical year, brother. You know it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And see, this is another one. I haven't put the third. It's that third wrapping on the bracelet that really super activates so that you become like electrically diesel. Jay said, Unc, add a xenon in the middle. Just came to me. Thank you for the idea. See, this is what family we want to do. Mike, this is what we want you to go and get some copper wire, titanium wire, and start experimenting so that you have a business of your own instead of being a cash cow. What if Logi gets a pair of pliers, some copper wire, some titanium wire, figures out the correct direction? Logi can go down to the corner. Say the banks took all his money. He can go down to the corner and sell a bracelet for $30 and say, damn.
Bank.
Huh?
I don't put my money in the bank.
You better not.
Yeah.
Because the banks make money the old-fashioned way. They steal it.
Yep.
You remember that old saying? We make money the old-fashioned way.
And check it out.
Steal it.
They can't go to jail for stealing because you give it to them.
Yeah.
You give it to them, and they give you tiny little bits back in interest. Matter of fact, it ain't even 1%. Remember, we was a kid, dime saving bank. You open up a bank account with a dime, but you'd get 5% on that. Back in the 60s and 70s, you get 5% interest, normal interest on your money in the bank. Now,
you know what the biggest thing is? Unfortunately, sisters who's listening to this, y'all like too much security on that plastic. You better keep stash of cash on hand. If the electronics collapse, you can't get it. You can't use a credit card. You can't use an ATM card. If there's a natural catastrophe, stores only want cash.
Or gold or silver.
Or gold or silver. Nobody's going to want your plastic. Your MasterCard, Visa card, and all those other Apple cards won't be worth the plastic that you have so securely in your little purse. See, that's mental. That's how men think. Men make rules, women follow rules. Because if women developed their critical analysis, they would know to keep a stash of cash in addition to the plastic. Because when that hurricane Sandy hit Brooklyn's Rockaway, they showed in the news the women. They didn't show the men. They showed the women with empty shopping carts crying over the shopping cart because all they had was plastic.
Wow.
And the men, man, I'm not saying all men, but men who still got enough testosterone know cash is king.
Yep. If you got a backyard and a lot of those are brownstones in Brooklyn, start growing. And even if you don't got a backyard, they're just the empty lots. One of my Mashan, she growing food right out there, and them tomatoes they should be having, the fresh food without all those chemicals and what's that stuff they put on it, the DDT and all that stuff. Man, them tomatoes don't even taste like the tomatoes in the store. You could go grow food in those lots out there. And in fact, and Home Depot gives you those bins. They give you the dirt and for free, the dirt and the wood to build those bins so you can grow the food. In fact, there's one field in Brooklyn where these guys, there's a big, where some houses been broken down. So it's got like maybe 20, 30 houses used to be there. And they're growing all kind of food. And some of the things that they're using for their fertilizers is bugs like bees and this and that kind of bugs that eat the other bugs that attack the food. I mean, they really got it down pat. And that food, and they sell that food to the restaurant. That food is so pure, so clean. And you would think, man, this is in the slums of well, no more slums in Brooklyn, but the inner city, they growing these food. Man, those tomatoes of Mashan tastes like, oh man, it's like a meal itself. Tastes like fruit.
Special acknowledgement to Mashan. And I believe you, Logi. I believe you. Yeah. Also, you can magnetize, family. You can magnetize the seeds 15 minutes before you plant them and double the size of the tomatoes, cucumbers, watermelons. The weed farm. Remember the weed farm upstate, Logi?
Yep.
The couple?
Yep.
Dope. I showed them how to magnetize the seeds, and their crops was double the normal size. Only thing is, Logi, they didn't give me no weed.
Well,
they should have gave me some weed. If I showed you how to double the size of your crop, y'all should give me something.
You got to make contracts with people like them.
You gotta, family. You gotta remember etiquette. We gotta remember etiquette. Like, look, you double my crop. Here's a pound of weed. Right. Whether you smoke it or not, give it to your friends. You know,
Hank, that
yo,
same people you talking about needed $600,000. They called me up. I was brokering money at the time. In other words, I'm selling money. They called me up, and they want me to do it for free. They wanted me to do it for free because they wanted to buy more land to grow more weed, and they had sold their whole crop. Man, they sold their whole crop to all these factories and stuff. And here's another tip, y'all. Gold and silver and all those metals are considered land, but you can't grow on gold and silver. So get yourself a plot of land, because when things get hard, so you can always go into that what do you call the greenhouse that you build in your backyard, especially out there in Brooklyn, where you got a backyard and them brownstones and stuff. Put a greenhouse up, and if you can't put a greenhouse up, just start growing food right there, right on a vine. Just put a stick in the ground, let the vine grow up. Just start growing food, because when push comes to shove, and push always comes to shove, you get food, because what you're going to be looking to buy with your gold or your card or your paper notes is food.
so family. Now look at this, Laji. Rhonda said, Rhonda, you're on it. How about adding xenon coated in amber to the bracelet? Now, what's real interesting, Rhonda? All glory to your I am. Brother Mike, look what she said. I coated the xenon with beeswax and ground up amber, and it literally amplified the xenon. So you're right on, Rhonda, right on. But we got to have time to get quiet, shut off social media, and ask the universe, the sea of secrets, how can I make a better copper bracelet? What would happen if you wrap copper and titanium around the crystal? What would happen? I don't know. I got them on my wrist. And when I get off this show, I'm going to add that third element, because I saw it activates the supernatural energy of the copper. And I'm sharing that with you in the spirit of Ubuntu, so that you can get out of what Rick James says, L7. Get out the box head and follow your intuition. So thank you.
When we start buying our Rudraksha beads in India, when we first got there, before we start buying gold, silver broke too much. But they got the 5 elements that they use. They got metals of 5 elements, and then they string the beads with that.
Wow. This was a good show, man. Thank you for showing up, Laji.
Yeah.
Thank you, audience. Thank you, family. And I hope some of this was inspiring to you, because I'm going to wrap this up and I'm going in the lab. I want to see what it's like to add the titanium trinity to the bracelet ×3 and see how I feel. So I want to thank you for joining us tonight. Yeah, Elijah, I've been making copper coated pyramids to light up Nicholas. I want to thank again Nicholas, Monique, thank Kafunya, thank Brother King Simon, and I want to thank all the participants from this weekend. Again, thanking Ross Ben for excellent presentation. They had a beautiful open mic. I want to thank Agnes. You were supposed to have been at Nicholas this past weekend. I don't know what. This sister Agnes, bro, is her and her husband are beautiful artists, musicians, but they show up like every blue moon. So hope to see you soon, Agnes Free Spirit, Agnes the poetess. Say,
hey,
yo, huh?
Sorry. Why don't you get some gold wire to add to the thing? Because gold is used
Ooh. Yo, you're on that too, Laji. What would happen? What would happen instead of having copper? It would be gold and titanium. What would happen? For those who have expendable income, that is something to consider. because the cutting edge combination to make superior titanium is when they mix gold into titanium.
Wow.
It lasts, I think,
Wow.
what does it say, 5 to 10 times longer than ordinary titanium.
Wow.
So you're right. I know you're right.
It's just
But
expensive.
until I do that with the gold, I'm going to use the copper. And I'm encouraging you to do the same, family. I want to thank you. And listen, take pictures and, let us know how everything goes in the flow. Because it's unlimited possibilities out there. Don't be a mental midget with a monkey mind on prison planet chicken farm Earth. Dare to think different. That's why Steve Jobs took psychedelics. Bill Gates, all the cutting edge technology technicians, they took psychedelics, LSD, so they can get free to think outside the confines of the prison planet between your ears. With that being said, we're gonna roll out. Oh, wait a second. Agnes said, was told we had to join in with the band. Yeah, they had a band there. And all our stuff is original in answer to your question. Yo, they had people there with guitars who did solos. They did, because I was sitting there videotaping them. Yep. They gave free access. Open mic. Anyway, peace out, y'all. Thanks, Logi.
Peace, my brother.
Peace.